Hi guys, the topic for this video will be expanding brackets using surds. Remember, whenever we expand brackets, we multiply the term outside the bracket with the terms inside the bracket, okay? Um, so the the term outside the bracket here, we've got is 4 bracket a plus 6. So we do 4 times a first, and that gives me 4a. And then I do 4 times 6, and that gives me plus 24, and then I leave it as it is. I can't simplify that further because one of them has an a, okay, a term with an a, and the other one is just a number, a constant. So I can't add them together. It's not going to be 28a, okay? So you just leave it as it is. How about expanding a single bracket using surds? Well, the same rule applies, okay? To expand brackets, we multiply everything inside the brackets by what is outside them, okay? So using my arrows, I do root 5 times 2, and then think of the root 5 as an x. If I done 2 times x, what would it be? 2x, right? If I do 2 times root 5, it would just be 2 root 5 plus, okay, before we do that, you use your arrows again, and then you do root 2 times root 3, and that would be root 5 times root 3, and that would be plus root 15, okay? And that's your final answer. You can't simplify that further, but you just leave it as it is, okay? Um, all right. Another example here. What I would like you to do is pause the video, give it a go, then please play the video when you're ready to carry on. Okay, so again, expanding a single bracket. We do 7 times x first, that gives me 7x. Then you do 7 times minus 9. So 7 times 9 is 63, but it's going to be minus 63, okay? Because positive times negative gives me a negative. And then you leave it as it is. You cannot simplify it further. Now, have a go at this one that involves surd, okay? Pause the video, give it a go, then please play the video when you're ready to carry on. Okay, again, let's use the same rules, okay, or the same method with the arrows. I do root 2 times 1, that gives me what? Root 2, okay? Then I've got root 2 times minus root 2. Now, what did we say? If we got whenever we have root 2 times root 2, I can say it's root 4, but whenever you got a surd multiplied by itself, like root 2 times root 2, it is just 2. Let me give you another example. Root 3 times root 3 is just 3. Root 5 times root 5 is just 5. So here, root 2 times root 2 would be minus 2. Okay? Or we could simplify that as minus 2. Okay, we didn't need to do that step there with the square root 4. It's okay if you've done that, but then remember, because square root 4 is a square number, I can simplify that to 2. Okay? Please make sure you copy down these examples. These are very, very useful examples. Okay, this is expanding brackets involving single brackets, okay? How about if we expand double brackets with surds? Let's start off expanding double brackets normally, okay? How would I go about this? So I've got x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 2. So again, use the method of arrows. You do x times x first, that will be x squared. Then you do x times 2, that would be plus 2x. Then you do 1 times x, that's plus 1x. And then you do 1 times 2, that will be plus 2. Okay? And then afterwards, okay, you have to make a decision. Can I simplify it? Which terms can I collect? Which ones are like terms that I can collect them? So x squared, there isn't any other x squared, so I leave it as it is. But there's a 2x and a 1x. They're like terms, so I can actually add them together, okay? So 2x plus 1x gives me plus 3x, and then I put the plus 2 at the end, okay? And that's it. I've simplified it. I've expanded that double bracket. Okay, now let's look at a double bracket involving surds now. So there isn't an x, there isn't a variable. We replace the variable with a surd, square root 2. Again, same rule, use the arrows. Root 2 times root 2, what did we say? A surd times by itself is just 2. Root 2 times root 2 is just 2, okay? What about root 2 times 3? Remember what we said. Think of the root 2 as an x, okay? If I done 3 times x, what's that going to be? 3x, right? So if I do 3 times root 2, it's just going to be plus 3 root 2. Next, I do 5 times root 2. Think of it as 5 times x. What's 5 times x? 5x. So 5 times root 2 is just going to be plus 5 root 2. Okay? And then finally, you do 5 times 3. That would be plus 15. And the reason why it's plus is because you're doing positive times positive. Okay? Again, this is the correct answer, but I have to simplify it. Now you can clearly see here, okay, the 2 and the 15, they're like terms. They're both numbers. They don't have a surd next to it. Okay, they haven't got that square root sign next to it. So they're just a number by itself. So I can add that 2 and the 15 together and it gives me 17. Then I can add the two terms in the middle because they both have root 2's, okay? So they're both in a family of root 2's. So think of it as 3x plus 5x. Would I be able to add them? Yes. 3x plus 5x would be 8x. So therefore here now, 3 root 2 plus 5 root 2, how many lots of root 2's have you got? You've got 8 lots, 8 root 2's, okay? So it'll be plus 8 root 2. And that's your final answer. Please copy this down and make use of the method of the arrows, okay? And always try and make sure to collect like terms, okay? Very important, otherwise you lose a mark. One more example, actually. What I want you to do is pause the video, give it a go, then please play when you are ready to carry on. Okay, using our arrows, x times x, I'm going to speed through this. That gives me x squared. Then I do x times minus 3. Be careful, the minus sign is not plus 3x, it'll be minus 3x, okay? And then you got 4 times x, that will be plus 4x. And then you do 4 times minus 3, that would be minus 12. Okay, be careful of the minus signs. Again, now you simplify them again, you got an x squared. Be careful here. You got minus 3x plus 4x. What is minus 3 plus 4? It would be positive 1, okay? So it would be plus 1x, but a better way to write plus 1x is just x alone by itself, okay? And then finally, minus 12 at the end. So please just watch out for the negative signs, okay? When you're multiplying out the bracket and also when you're collecting like terms, just be a bit more careful. A lot of students do make silly mistakes with the negative signs. What about this one here? It involves a negative sign with surds. What I want you to do is pause the video, give it a go, then please play when you are ready to carry on. Okay, using our arrows again. Root 2 times root 2. What did we say root 2 times root 2 is? It's just 2. Okay, and then root 2 times minus 3. Okay, well, look at the previous question. X times minus 3 was what? Minus 3x. So root 2 times minus 3 is just going to be minus 3 root 2. And then 4 times root 2 would be plus 4 root 2. Okay. And then 4 times minus 3, positive times negative. 4 times 3 is 12, but it would be minus 12 because it is plus positive 4 multiplied by negative 3. That would give me negative 12. And then finally, you can simplify it. Look, we circle the numbers together. I've got 2 and minus 12. Please be careful. It's not 2 plus 12. It's not 14. It's 2 minus 12. That would be minus 10. And then you add the two terms in the middle with each other. Okay. And that will be plus root 2. All right. Because you got minus 3 lots of root 2 plus 4 lots of root 2. It's like the previous question. You know, when we had minus 3x plus 4x, that would be positive 1x. Minus 3 root 2 plus 4 root 2, you'd have one lot of root 2. And we just write root 2 by itself. There's no need to write the 1 in front of the root 2. But whenever you're answering these sort of questions, if you've got a minus to begin with, just turn it around. It's better to write it like this way, where it's positive to start off with. So you can start off writing the surd first, and then the minus 10 next to it. Okay. Please copy down these examples, correct it. What I want you to do now is have a go at this, and pause the video, give it a go, then please play when you are ready to carry on. All right, I'm going to give the solutions now. Again, use your arrows. There's nothing different about this. This is exactly the same as before. Just the brackets have been changed slightly, but you still use the same method. You do 3 times 2 first. That will be 6. Then you do 3 times root 5, that will be plus 3 root 5. Then you do 2 times root 5, that'll be plus 2 root 5. And then you do root 5 times root 5. What did we say? Root a surd multiplied by itself, okay, would just give you the number alone. So root 5 times root 5 is just going to be 5. And the reason why is because square root 5 times square root 5 is actually the square root of 25. And because 25 is a square number, if I square root 25, it would give me 5 at the end. Okay, now which ones can I simplify? Well, look at the two terms in the middle. I've got 3 lots of root 5 and 2 lots of root 5. Altogether, how many lots of root 5s is that? Those are 5 root 5s. And I've got 6 plus 5 as well. So let's start off actually with the numbers. What's 6 plus 5? That's 11, not 10. Okay, it's actually meant to be 11. And then you do, sorry about that. And then you do 3 root 5 plus 2 root 5 will be 5 root 5. And that's your final answer. Thank you for listening.